Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. The 49ers did make a couple roster moves, standard elevations for both Trevis Gibson and Nick Zakelj. So two players, defensive line, offensive line, elevated standard elevation. So they revert back to the practice squad once the game is over, but they are available for to play in the game on Sunday. Now, questionable guys, Deommodore Lenoir, Luke Gifford, and Spencer Burford. But I'm pretty sure Deommodore Lenoir is playing because sources tell me um, that I met on the airplane, namely his mother. I sat next to Deommodore Lenoir's mother on the plane from LA to Houston. And so we talked for about 2 hours. And so if Deommodore Lenoir's mom is coming out to Houston, I'm betting he's playing. It's kind of looked like that this week, even though I didn't participate in practice, that he was going to play. So Deommodore Lenoir, Luke Gifford, and Spencer Burford, questionable for the game. The guys who we all thought were going to be inactive or not play, Ricky Pearsall just not healing as fast as they wanted it to. Bryce Huff, of course, with the hamstring. Jake Brendel, the hamstring. Those two guys we're seeing on the side field. So I think it's maybe 2 or 3 weeks for those guys. Maybe week 10 they'll come back. Maybe 11. Brock Purdy and Yetur Gross-Matos. So all of those guys potentially could come back at any point. They Spencer Burford probably will be active for the game. Not sure what they're going to do with him. Is he going to play at guard instead of Connor Colby? Connor's been getting really good reps. It's really valuable for him. But this Houston Texans defense is solid. The most popular word of the day was how sound they are. It was said by Kyle Shanahan. It was said by Mac Jones. It was said by Trent Williams. Everybody on the offensive side said it's a sound defense. So potentially, that's why they have Nick Zakelj up. That's why Spencer Burford is potentially coming back. Not sure how they're going to use them. That's something to be watching for sure during warmups and at the beginning of the game. But going back to sitting next to Deommodore Lenoir's mom, wow, she is the mother of 12 children. 12. Crazy. She told me so many fun stories about Demo as a child growing up and how competitive he was and how many road trips she took to see him in games. She drove from LA to Oregon multiple times to see him. She also drove out to Texas to see him in the Army game. I mean, this is a dedicated mom. I can barely keep plants alive. She kept 12 kids alive. Crazy. And all the boys play football. All the girls are cheerleaders. She said she still goes to all the high school games that the kids, she's got one 16-year-old boy who's playing football now. She goes to all the games on Friday, travel Saturday, Demo's game on Sunday. So fun stories about him, but she's here. He's going to play. So sources tell me that Demo's going to play on Sunday. She was going to try and surprise him. So I don't think I'm breaking any news here for him. I don't think he watches my YouTube channel, but maybe he does. But I'm telling you right now, Demo's playing. His mom's here. So the Houston Texans are without their two top wide receivers, which does mean maybe Demo and the secondary have a better chance of getting some turnovers. They're without Nico Collins, who's out with a concussion, and Christian Kirk, who's out with a hamstring injury. So you've got some young guys who are going to be playing on Sunday. Wide receiver wise, you've got rookie Jaden Higgins, rookie Jalen Knoll, also Xavier Hutchinson, and Braxton Berrios. So they do have a little bit of experience, but honestly, sometimes young guys or guys that have not played as much with CJ Stroud, their quarterback, maybe they're more susceptible to turnovers and Deommodore Lenoir and the 49ers defense. That secondary has not snagged an interception in a really long time last year. So this is, this is their opportunity. It's an offense that has been challenged and they could take advantage. Now, on the other side of the ball, their defense, Houston Texans defense is sound. So offensive wise, Mac Jones has got to anticipate where his wide receivers are, not have any crazy plays. All the wide receivers need to block well. I think George Kittle being on the field always makes a huge difference. I think guys run block harder when George Kittle's out there. Also, Juwan Jennings is healthier, so that helps the blocking situation as well. Um, so yeah, interesting game. How are they going to neutralize this Houston Texans defense that has the most pressures on quarterbacks in the league? So that's what they've got to worry about. I do think that a healthy Juwan Jennings and George Kittle being on the field makes a huge difference. And also, obviously, Luke Farrell being the added blocker with George Kittle paired up, I think it's a good thing for the 49ers offense. But you've got guys who are younger, Connor Colby on the left side. You've got Matt Hennessy, who is a veteran, but he hasn't played as much. A whole week of reps, though, I think is going to be good for him. And Dominic Mooney, he's getting healthier with his knee, but hey, if a guy's not 100% and you're trying to block a 320-pound guy, I think it makes a difference. So that's it for from Houston for Saturday. If you're here and you see me, come up and say hi. And everybody enjoy the game. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Pre-game show on NBC Sports Bay Area starts at 9 a.m. And then the kickoff is 10 a.m. And this is all Pacific time. And then after the game is over, I'll be on the post-game show, so definitely check that out. I wrote a story about how Nick Bosa and Fred Warner are back in the building already, helping teach up their young defensive counterparts to play against this Houston Texans defense. It's got D'Amico Ryan's handprints all over it. Nick Bosa and Fred Warner obviously facing the offense, but I think their input and their knowledge is going to help no matter what. And they can also help out the offensive side. They know D'Amico Ryan's really well. The 49ers, the system, it's the same. Little tweaks, of course, but it's a sound defense. So offense has its work cut out for him. The defense needs to get turnovers. All right, everybody. Hope you're well. And if you are here in Houston, enjoy the game. If you're home, enjoy being at home and watching the game. Talk to you soon.